solutions. Alertus offers several VoIP solutions depending on your phone system you have. We have integrations with Cisco and AVAYA phone systems. For other phone systems, we can leverage a hardware device called a SIP Annunciator. And if you do have any analog phone systems, we do offer an analog interface. Some of the features that you would get from integrating would be to transform your office phones into a unified emergency communication system. You can simultaneously activate audible visual notifications on all or select VoIP phone speakers, and this also can work alongside other Alertus products like the desktop notification. And there are solutions here that can have text and audible notifications that can be sent in real time. So let's start introducing some of these integrations. The first one on the docket is the Cisco phone notification. I'd say this is one of our more advanced integrations. There are some features that other solutions do not offer. One of those is call monitoring. For example, if somebody called 911, that's what it's most commonly used for, but you can monitor any number or extension, and if a phone or user calls that monitored number, your Alertus system would activate accordingly. One of the main features of the Cisco integration is to potentially send a text and audible notification to your phones. You have the ability to activate all phones. You could target by extensions or group of extensions. You could target by device pools, and you could create unique groups to target more of a granular set of phones. And in the middle of the screen there, that is what the text would look like on a Cisco phone. Another feature of the Cisco integration, you have the ability to call call into Alertus, essentially, enter in a PIN and a confirmation PIN, and you'd be able to activate your system from dialing to Alertus. The panic button right there. Now, we do have a list of supported phone models, and here is the list. I won't go too far deep into it, but we have a good amount of their phones that we support. The next integration is a software integration with AVAYA phone systems like Aura or IP Office. This integration would allow you to send emergency notifications with text and optional audio to every phone, a group of phones, or an individual phone. And when you do activate, it is a very quick, immediate activation. As well as when you cancel an alert, you will see the phone screen go back to its normal resting state. And here's an example of what that notification would look like on the screen of this AVAYA phone model. Just like Cisco, we have a list of supported AVAYA phone models ranging from the text models and the ones that support the audio component of the integration. Now, for other phone systems that are not AVAYA or Cisco, we have a hardware device called a SIP Annunciator, which would allow you to use that SIP Annunciator just like a third-party SIP phone on these phone systems like Asterisk, Mitel, ShoreTel. And essentially, you'd be able to activate the SIP Annunciator. It would be programmed to call a paging group, for example. And then all the phones that are in that paging group would start to play the text-to-speech over its speaker. And then lastly, for more of those legacy phone systems out there, the analog phone interfaces, we do have the ability to integrate with them. And essentially, the same as a SIP Annunciator, you call an extension, a DTMF tone is sent, and then the phone picks up, and then you'll hear the text-to-speech through those lines. Okay. So I'm going to give a little configuration part of the webinar, introduce some of the things that we would do to configure the Cisco VoIP text and audio. Go ahead and log in here. And all of the configuration, defining behavior of your Cisco phones, or really any of the VoIP integrations, it's all done with configuring what we call alert services. I'm going to create a new Cisco VoIP alert service here. And I'm just clicking that Add Alert Service button. I am now going to start creating this alert service. And the first thing I do, come on over to Service Type, find the right VoIP alert service. And now additional settings will populate. The first thing I'm going to do is name this service. Okay. Description. Really, this is for if you think of this like Spark Notes. It's like a sentence or so just to describe what you're creating here. So moving on, this is where we configure the behavior of what we want this alert service to do. So the first thing is what is my message type? Do I only want to send text to my Cisco phones? Do I only want to send audio? Or do I want to send both? And in this case, I'm going to just do both. The next setting, message title. This is the right on this screen where you see intruder lockdown. That is the message title setting. So for some organizations, they may just put the scenario at hand. For others, they might just put something like that, okay? The next one setting is message prompt. And message prompt is below the text box, which this one says, attention all employees. It's really just a way to prompt the user to give some additional instructions. Normally I see clients put, please read the information above. Okay, or you could do like it showed on the slide deck. We're going to skip over this setting. This is more for if we were not going to use text and audio. And now we're over to the audio file. Alertus has a plethora of WAV files that you can leverage. And you have the ability to upload WAV files of your choosing. So if you wanted to record live voice and put it into a WAV file, you can play that out of your phone speakers. If you did not like any of these tones and you wanted to create your own emergency tone, you certainly can do so, upload it into the system, and select the appropriate WAV file. Now, the next setting, audio file repeat count. This is an important one because this will dictate how many times the WAV file will play. So if you only want the WAV file to play for, how long is that? 4 seconds, okay? We could just do 1. If you wanted the WAV file to play for the first minute of your alert, we would need to increase that value. And I'm just going to go on a limb here. We could increase it by 40, so it will play 40 times. And then stop playing the audio. Now the final thing here is in this alert service for the software VoIP integrations, here is where you dictate what phones are activating. So you have the ability to do all phones that are in your database. You have the ability to target by group, and most of the time in Cisco, these are device pools that you can select. So all the phones that are in the Baltimore device pool should receive this notification. And lastly, we have by extension. So if I wanted to do maybe only 2 to 3 extensions, I would just enter them in like so. If I wanted to do a range of extensions, I can do that by putting in the syntax. And we also have the luxury to exclude extensions. So let's say 3 of the phones in this range I don't want to activate. I would just go ahead and put them in here. Okay. Once I'm ready to go, I would save this alert service. Normally, I see clients create more than one Cisco alert service per the scenarios that they wish to use Alertus for. So if you're a multi-campus organization, you may have an emergency alert service for enterprise-wide. You may have a Cisco alert service that targets only campus A, one that targets campus B, okay? You may also have an alert service that only targets your emergency stakeholders' phones. For example, if you have a request for help or a panic button type of behavior that only activates your security team's desktops, you could enhance that behavior with adding the Cisco phones to that activation. If I were to send a custom activation on the fly to, for example, my newly created alert service, I'd first start by composing my message, selecting my duration, and then I would find that alert service in this alert service list. So let's see. There we go. Found the service. And now I'm ready to hit continue. Always get to a confirmation page and I can hit send. Okay. Once I hit send, the system will show that there is an active alert. Now, to give you some visual examples of what this looks like in real time, I've got a video. So this is a little bit older of a Cisco phone model. You can see at the top the text or the message title, which is named VoIP message. You also see in the middle the Alertus, the message, actually, the evacuation notice. And then below here, you would see the text prompt. And in this case, the prompt is please notice. And yep, another example. And then this one is leveraging a different audio. And you could see when the system is canceled, the phones go back into a resting state. Okay. So I did mention that the Cisco integration also has the ability to have a end user dial a extension that is set up to call Alertus, and the user would be met by a recording saying, "Thank you for reaching Alertus. Please enter your preset PIN." And at that point, you'd be able to activate the system. So here's that example of that feature.
Welcome to Alertus notification system. You have called to activate. All clear. Situation normal. Enter the authorization code followed by the pound key. The requested alert has been initiated successfully.
And then there you go.
Alertus notification has ended.
And there you go. You get a feedback from the recording saying that you entered in your authorization code, and then the system activates the preset that was associated with that authorization code. See here. So if we were talking about AVAYA Aura integration, it's very similar. We start by choosing the message type, text, audio, or both. Message title. Let's see if we can. All right, no, that ain't gonna work. Right. I don't think I can zoom in here. But message title is at the top of the screen here. And top line. I think that's on some phone models at the bottom. For Cisco, or sorry, for AVAYA integrations, this alert count is essentially just pretty much a beep here. So you could have it beep up to 3 times. Then you could play the same WAV files that you saw from configuring a Cisco. You can dictate how many times the audio file repeat. And your targeting mode, it's very similar but unique. In AVAYA, you can target all phones by extensions. With AVAYA, a unique way to target your endpoints is by IP ranges as well, if you know your IP ranges for your phone system. Okay, Andro, that's all I had for.
Awesome. I have a couple of questions. First question is there a support for Polycom phones without a SIP annunciator unit?
I think no. You would need a hardware device for that phone system. And is the Polycom phone just the phone make and model, or is that the actual phone system?
I'm not quite sure, but if you want to clarify, then please go ahead and chat us. But we'll move on to the next question. Can you program the panic button on your phone to send alerts to one specific building or group? Or does it send
so that,
alert to...
yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
That's a great question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So this is just some additional knowledge within Alertus. Essentially, that activation is tied and connected to a preset alert that an Alertus admin configures. So if they decide to configure it to go to a group of people, it will go there. If they decide that this preset alert will activate a campus-wide activation, then yes, it would go to that location and that location only. If it was configured to do an enterprise-wide activation, then that's the behavior of what Alertus would perform. So yes, Kenneth, to clarify, for the Polycom phone system, yes, you would need a hardware unit.
Gotcha, thank you. The next question is, if we are working from home and have our office phones at home, can we still send alerts to those phones?
Okay, so it all depends, and then let's just talk about the Cisco and AVAYA phones for right now. Those are our software integration. It really depends if those phones, upon being activated, can reach your Alertus server over our SOAP API. So there's some networking involved, but if that is all good and it's all configured correctly, I do not see a reason why your phones would not activate. If the phones cannot reach the server via the SOAP API, then no, they would not activate.
Gotcha, thank you. This may be a question for the sales rep, but just in case if you know it, Anthony, what does a SIP Annunciator unit cost? If you don't know it, I'll have someone reach out to you, Kenneth.
Best thing about my job is I'm not in the sales side, so I would not know that information.
Okay, I'll have someone reach out to you, Kenneth, after the webinar. Okay, and we'll take our last question. Can you send the same messages to desk phones and your mobile phone?
So this is a good question. The desk phones, as long as you're leveraging the so for the mobile phones, if you're leveraging the Alertus mobile recipient app, then yes, you can activate the Alertus system, activate more than one what I call notification endpoint type, and all of those endpoint types would receive the same message on their screens. If you added the desktop client to this also, they would receive the same message as well.
Gotcha, thank you. Well, that is all for today. And I want to say thank you again for joining our program. Please do fill out the survey on your way out to help us better serve you. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to contact support or your respective account managers. And thank you again, and we will see you in a few weeks with brand new topics. And thank you, Anthony.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for attending. Have a good rest of your day.